Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to have a really fun day today just chatting about fan fiction and why it is such a useful tool for writers. I have a team of wonderful guests with me today, and now I need to welcome them accordingly. First, please give a warm welcome to... Neph Champion.
Hello, everyone!
Welcome. And we'll also be welcoming okay, let me find the stream stuff. I need to get these things better organized. Welcoming
106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Jainarai, welcome to the stream again. Good to have you on.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Hello again.
Hey.
Alrighty. And we have another guest, a man who needs no introduction other than this.
Hey.
Welcome aboard, Carl Saylor. And I actually didn't think to come up with an entrance for Mr. Kaijugod, but this is the best that I could come up with.
Hello.
Welcome aboard.
That one
Welcome to the
certainly
madhouse.
works.
I would have personally preferred in Final Wars when Rodan just like annihilates New York just by flying, but that one was pretty good.
Yeah, I will have to.
Or perhaps
I
something
understand.
from
I've wanted
Godzilla.
to annihilate New York many times during my time.
Or when Gamera incinerates Legion, that one's also really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have used or Rodan in Godzilla King of the Monsters. That was actually relatively cool. I will use that next
coming out of
time.
a volcano. Him coming out of a volcano was really awesome.
Yeah.
Once those shrugged.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Next time you're on, I totally forgot to make you a proper personalized entrance for you. My apologies. But how's everyone doing today?
Doing all right. I had the day off.
Oh, cool.
So did I, but I have not yet caught the Kung Flu, so that's good.
That's a good one. I'm doing just fine as well.
Alrighty.
Doing great.
Cool. So I don't really have any like structure. I just thought we'd keep it just like as a free-form discussion, like about like fan fiction. But I guess like maybe we should kind of start with how do we each get into writing fan fiction and why it's kind of fun for us, kind of just as kind of a starting point.
Well, where I think the point where I seriously got into it was I think it was Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I put it down like halfway through and went, I can do better than this. And this was me when I was still a teenager. Going, I can do better than J.K. Rowling, who is being paid to do this.
Very true.
Yeah, I've had the same ideas.
For me, oh fuck, it goes back to middle school because like just because I was bored. I don't know if you could call us a fan fiction, but after rediscovering BBC's Walking with Dinosaurs, I decided to write my own story about a dinosaur's journey. I don't know. It was I don't know if that's fan fiction or whatever. And then in high school, I started.
Fiction.
No, it's not fiction. Kinda, sorta.
Historical fiction.
Maybe
Well, it's only-
Land Before Time. Maybe.
I mean, like but like actual true fan fiction wasn't until high school when I would write a bunch of Godzilla stuff. Like I wrote my own Godzilla versus Gamera short story, which was kind of it's around here somewhere. I need to find it.
I wrote something that was a massive multi-cross that I never ever posted anywhere when I was 13. It was so bad.
Yeah.
And of course, this was back when I was writing Mary Sue characters, which I thankfully have grown out of. Good God, that was so horrible.
Excuse me. The term is Ray Palpatine is the term we use now.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Ray Palpatine.
I just think that the Mary Sue should be replaced with that because, my God, in the past 5 years, I don't think I've ever seen a bigger Mary Sue in mainstream fiction.
She's a God mode Sue. So if we're talking about God mode Sues, then yeah, we should probably start using Ray Palpatine instead of Mary Sue.
Mm-hmm. Because she's not a Skywalker.
Yeah, she's not a Skywalker.
Yeah.
She'd be a Skywalker if
Then
she
I
was
guess-
Ben's wife, but that's not how you do it.
It's even creepier when you realize that Palpatine was the one who manipulated the midichlorians and Shmi, making her pregnant. So technically, Kylo and Rey are related.
Oh, that just makes
Technically,
Raylo
but,
even
like-
worse.
Sort of. They're related in the Force, which I guess is the same.
That's just so stupid. Oh my God. Why?
So yeah, I guess I only started writing fan fiction in my mid-20s, so I guess that makes me the odd duck in this situation.
Maybe.
Yeah. It really
Sorry, go ahead.
My journey into fan fiction really began after I finished my first read of The Wheel of Time, and of course immediately latched onto Logain as the coolest character in the show or series, and perused the wiki, the Wheel of Time wiki, for as much information as I could find about this guy, and I just say I was a little disappointed that he didn't appear to be in a lot of it. You know, even trying to go back through the series to pick out some of his scenes, there was only a handful to go on. So I just said, you know what, I'm gonna take it upon myself to flesh out this guy's backstory, and it says as much in the foreword for my fanfic.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's me.
Cool.
I had kind of a similar start. I was obsessed with the Wheel of Time and just looking for more and more information about it. And I stumbled upon the RP site that I still RP on today.
Is it a turning of the wheel, or was it some?
Yeah,
or was it
yeah,
another
that one. Sorry. I'm just assuming everyone knows because. But yeah.
And then one other one that comes to my mind is that after watching, I think it was the 2005 Guyver anime, I'm like, I want more of this. And then I just, for some odd reason, I'm like, I'm going to cross it over with DC. So I whipped up on my old computer, and I still have the Word document saved on a floppy disk.
A floppy disk that you can no longer use because computers don't come with them anymore.
I mean, I think I still have a tower, not a tower, but the thing that's actually,
yeah.
I think it actually still works. So I can maybe get it from that, but
Maybe.
Oh, and there was this one fiction that I was inspired by the book series called Michigan Chillers, which basically there was this thing called Dinosaurs Destroy Detroit, and I kind of got inspired by that and wrote my own sort of version about it, where there's a portal in time, and I go back to the Permian instead of the Mesozoic.
I wonder what happens. Care to summarize the plot of Dinosaurs Destroy Detroit?
The Permian.
From what I
yeah.
From the
Yikes.
Permian, yeah. But
yeah, the Permian is very dangerous because the air there was toxic to us. So, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like the Carboniferous where the oxygen was higher. I think it was about comparable, if not maybe a little higher than it is today.
Yeah.
It was 30%.
The jury's still out on what was the cause of the Great Dying. So we're still trying to sort that out.
I believe it was. Some say it was caused by a massive volcanic eruption in Siberia.
Yeah, the Siberian traps. Yeah.
Yeah, that huge thing, and then like the atmosphere heated up to the point where the frozen methane in the deep seas just like melted, and that just fucked everything else up, and it was just this giant chain of events that
people actually
wiped out all life on Earth.
And
yeah, good thing we're not headed in that direction. Isn't that right?
People are thinking actually that there might have been a meteor then too, because on the other side of the world in Antarctica, there's a crater somewhere that dates back to the same time as the steps. So they think that meteor fall might have caused that.
It's a mystery.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, back on topic.
Oh yeah.
So, I got into fanfiction actually fairly recently, kind of like Carl. Basically, what I did was I actually wrote mostly like a Song of Ice and Fire text adventure games, where it was essentially me being a ghostwriter for somebody else, where they would put in a text command, and then I would respond by writing a paragraph after two based on what they had described. And so far, most of my stuff is on AF3, and I really quite enjoyed writing it. But I prefer being a ghostwriter and feeling like I'm doing it for somebody else rather than watching it for myself. So,
highlight Mark in 3D. Mark
sorry.
in 3D, not Dragonlord.
Yeah, the Trekkie's Tale. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's very significant.
That
Yes.
is, yeah. I think that's where it all began.
That's the original Mary Sue.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In fact, I have it queued up right here. I would like to do an impromptu reading of A Trekkie's Tale.
Go for it.
It's only
Do
300
it.
words. Why not?
Gee golly gosh glorioski, thought Mary Sue as she stepped onto the bridge of the Enterprise. Here I am, the youngest lieutenant in the fleet, only 15 and a half years old. Captain Kirk came up to her. Oh, Lieutenant, I love you madly. Will you come to bed with me? Captain, I am not that kind of girl. You're right, and I respect you for it. Here, take over the ship for a minute while I go get some coffee for us. Mr. Spock came onto the bridge. What are you doing in the command seat, Lieutenant? The captain told me to. Flawlessly logical. I admire your mind. Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, Dr. McCoy, and Mr. Scott beamed down with Lieutenant Mary Sue to Rigel XXXVII. I think that's 37. They were attacked by green androids and thrown into prison. In a moment of weakness, Lieutenant Mary Sue revealed to Spock that she too was half Vulcan. Recovering quickly, she sprung the lock with her hairpin, and they all got away back to the ship. But back on board, Dr. McCoy and Lieutenant Mary Sue found out that the men who had beamed down were seriously stricken by the jumping cold Robbies. Mary Sue less so. While the 4 officers languished in sick bay, Lieutenant Mary Sue ran the ship, and ran it so well that she received the Nobel Peace Prize, the Vulcan Order of Gallantry, and the Tralfamadorian Order of Good Guyhood. However, the disease finally got to her, and she fell fatally ill. In the sick bay, as she breathed her last, she was surrounded by Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, Dr. McCoy, and Mr. Scott, all weeping unashamedly at the loss of her beautiful youth and youthful beauty, intelligence, capability, and all-around niceness. Even to this day, her birthday is a national holiday on the Enterprise. The end.
Such a classic.
I know, right?
And then people unintentionally looked at this and said, "Wow, this is a great character template," and they decided to make Ma Ray Sue.
And
Actually,
the anti-Sue,
I can't remember
and
where
the copycat Sue, and all of the other Sues that we have to deal with now. Ugh.
it was.
Yeah.
Actually, I can't remember where it was, but someone actually made a really funny parody webcomic called Lieutenant Sue Must Die. Which, yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
best part of the
Conrad.
story. Yes, best. But
That is something correct that you
matter-
have said.
no matter how many times it's read, I just crack up every single time.
Yeah.
Because
I had to
Mary
pinch my
Sue-
cheek not to burst out laughing.
Yeah, because it's just so utterly ridiculous.
yeah, it is. It's why. I mean, she did this to point. The writer wrote this specifically to point out what was not acceptable for the fanzine.
And then they just ran with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They also kind of
just
did
kinda-
that. They also kind of did that with Ryan. I think Ryan Johnson just has a problem with writing Mary Sue pure Mary Sue characters, because he did that with Knives Out as well.
Okay, which character is the Mary Sue, or do I not
Marta,
want to know?
I think.
Marta.
Marta. Yeah.
I have
From what
not
I
seen
heard-
Knives Out.
I haven't either. I
refuse
don't
see
plan
Knives
to.
Out.
She
Fuck Ryan
basically
Johnson.
Yeah.
she is so pure and good that if she even tells one single little lie, she will throw up.
Doesn't she throw up when other people lie? Other people lie too.
She gets like uneasy or something when like other people lie.
For
She'd
Pete's
be the
sake.
worst wife.
Yes,
She'd be the worst
she
wife.
would.
You couldn't get away with anything.
Nope.
No, I was not at the strip club with Ted. Okay, I would never do that to you.
Then
And
why do I feel
What-
sick?
wasn't-
Yeah.
That's probably the pregnancy talking.
Yes. It's
I
just-
Oh, Yokai is in the chat.
Oh, hey, okay. There's so much revisionist history on a Trekkie's Tale that I trust in no one. From what I know about people, I imagine that it was likely sincere, yet horribly botched.
I actually don't think so. It comes off as just way too like self-aware. Like it just seems like it's deliberately hitting beats and it's way too short.
Yeah, seriously, the order of good guyhood.
Very tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
I like to think that she was
There's
trying
no
to
way
make
someone
it
was
as-
writing that with a straight face.
No. I assume that it's like, this is meant to be a parody, just in case all of you thirsty housewives don't know.
Yeah, but it's like everyone takes it seriously nowadays. They don't see it as the parody that it is.
Exactly.
I was not even aware that people didn't get it.
Well,
Well, so,
they don't know how to write. They think they have a style, but they can't write.
Well,
Oh, that name.
I have actively avoided my immortal for
I heard about
majority
it.
of my life, and I expect I will continue in this regard until the day I die.
Well, we could always, as just a bit of fun, listen to a who here is at least familiar with like the character relationships in Game of Thrones?
vaguely from like
Yeah.
from what Mahler has said through his
Okay.
videos.
So you at least know Jon Snow and Arya Stark are like raised as half siblings, right?
Yeah, because yeah.
Ooh, there's a fan fiction of I think it's Jainarai.
So-
Oh God. I mean, John was banging his aunt, so you know.
It's
Yeah,
things like
yokai.
this that make the extinction of the human race seem like a good idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
no kidding.
Yeah.
Let's see. The good guys in Soy Wars were literally called the Resistance. How is that any more subtle than the order of the good guyhood?
It doesn't even make
Yeah.
sense why they're called the Resistance. Wouldn't they just be the Republic Army? Oh wait, no. You need to read a trilogy of shitty novels to understand that the Republic demilitarized.
which is a really stupid idea.
Yeah, it's
Militarization.
you don't demilitarize yourself. You make your enemy do so. That's how it's done.
Look. Okay, war bad. War very, very bad. Be bad. No, gun bad.
War is bad.
We need to
yes,
save what we
but
love.
We seem
Oh
to have
my-
we seem to have strayed into the bad fan fiction area.
Yeah.
Weren't we supposed to be talking about like how fan fiction is good for writers?
Yeah, let's talk about the stuff we've written.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
let's yeah, like I think like my longest running fan fiction is like 80K, somewhere around like 90K words, and it's basically an alternative universe. Yeah, I know, Neph, you are the queen of fanfic. You have like what, like 100K words worth of fan fiction that you've written?
Try over 500K
Wow.
and growing. And that's just the first 2 parts of the 5-part series that I'm on the 3rd part of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's something.
That is very impressive, I have to say.
Yeah, all I
Yeah.
got is 44K on my my thing.
Thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how many. Well, I mean, like the ones I gave done are not as much, but I think I might have about 40K just from all I've written, because the majority of it has been like handwritten and will not see the light of day.
Yeah. I know all about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
See, I don't burn it
that
because
much.
it's like that dude from the Da Vinci Code. You know, the dude from the Da Vinci Code that flagellate himself. You know, that's
Yeah.
like with me. It's like, never forget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I think one of the pros of writing fanfic is the tight community. Like, it's really easy to get others to read your work and critique it if they're also interested in the subject.
Yeah. And it allows for people to show that even mediocre characters can be absolutely wonderfully done in the right hands of the right person.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My fanfic is a character study, filling out everything that this guy was doing off screen.
Yeah.
Also, for reference, the Wheel of Time in its entirety is about 4.4 million.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
19 days, 5 hours, and 25 minutes of audiobook.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's still not long enough.
I know, right?
More.
All that stuff, and I still had to fill out this guy's backstory?
The long man is bad. How dare.
Long man bad. Oh god.
Not even backstory. His story.
Well, I mean, about half of that is story. The other half is
Dude, you just like
of sniffing
roboted.
and
Your mic just
smoothing
had
out
like
your
a
skirts.
stroke.
And Nynaeve pulling her braid.
Yeah, that kind of. Yeah, that's
Let's
true.
see.
Yeah, mine was actually kind of a request from a girl who like doesn't necessarily like she doesn't necessarily believe like in her skill as a writer. She just wanted to have this story played out. We've been doing a couple of them. 2 alternative takes on the same idea. One was an alternate. So basically, in she's very much romantic and loves shipping. So she asked, "Hey, can you write a? Can you help me write a book series in which this particular character does in fact bang the prince as what, or bang the king, the teenage king, as was the reported thing in a book of erotica in A Song of Ice and Fire."
Ah.
And
Oh, Dr.
Oh,
Crow,
boy.
that's not nice. You're a nerd too.
We are
And
all
then Drake
nerds
the
here.
Duelist above it.
How
See,
dare
stupid
you.
canon.
That,
Fine,
the
I'll do
N-word
it
is our
myself.
word.
Yeah,
I actually tried to keep my
Oh.
idea as much compatible with canon as possible. You know,
Yeah.
I was consulting
that's
the Wheel of Time companion throughout the entire process.
Ooh.
That's a really important point. Like, you have to deeply
Oh, it's Glib. Hi,
understand
Glib.
the canon to fill it out
Oh,
more.
hey, Glib's here. Cool.
I mean, it's one
Sorry.
thing to
Glib.
just use the characters essentially as your own, as just using the skins and make your own stories out of them, like what they were doing in 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh god.
To the point
ew.
where they could actually reskin the characters and sell it as a piece of fiction itself. It is another thing entirely to actually take these characters that already exist, keep their characterizations as close as possible to the canon interpretations, and actually write a story within those limitations.
Yeah, and that just shows how good of a writer you are if you can do that.
Right. You have to really, really pay attention to like all the different layers for characters, even if there
Yeah.
isn't that much information about them. And I was thinking about that thing that you read, Neph, a couple weeks ago. I think it was like Remix, is that what it's called? Where it was mostly the source material, but then you just added something.
Oh, you mean with the I've called it fundamental feelings. But yes. Yes.
I was thinking about with that, like, I didn't really know the source material at all, but I couldn't tell like what was different and what you had added. So I felt like you really had to have a very strong understanding of the writer's style.
Yeah.
And I think that's also another really great thing to have in your toolkit, because if you do that with a lot of different authors, then you're going to learn a lot of great writer styles and techniques that way.
Mm-hmm. Characters
also
I
feel
like happy
it's,
endings and didn't get them. Yeah.
Yeah. I also feel as if, especially if you're starting out, maybe it's best to step into a world you're familiar with and then maybe build something out of that, either using these pre-established characters or taking characters that you make and maybe try that sort of thing.
Yeah, I agree. I very much
I
considered
did
this
that
fanfic
too.
that I wrote a dress rehearsal for the book that I wrote after that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, okay, well, I know this world's rules, and sometimes you probably know them better than the, actual writer, so I'm going to do something with that, and then maybe familiarize myself with some of these writing concepts, and then I'm going to try and do it on my own.
Yeah. And
yeah, and there's a whole lot less pressure, so you can kind of explore more and have a little bit of fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, yeah, and if it's shit, it's just like, it's just one in the many seas of horrible fan fiction. So it's like,
yeah.
You're not.
And the thing about Sword Art Online, which is what I write basically exclusively these days, is that people think that the main character is a Mary Sue, but the only Mary Sue moment that he actually has is at the very end of the first arc where he doesn't die when he's supposed to. That was
so dumb. That was so dumb. He's just like, nah, dog, I'm not gonna die, even though my HP went to 0, and we established that your HP goes to 0 and you die.
Yeah.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Basically.
I love that. That's great.
SAO Abridged did it better.
As long as you realize that SAO Abridged is not canon, I don't care. At the moment you try and tell me that, yeah, but the moment you try and tell me that SAO Abridged should be canon, I'm like, nope.
No,
Read
I mean
the novels, because the novels are much better than the anime.
How dare you? Reading is for the reading is for the communists. Reading is for the communists. That's why we're talking about writing.
As a communist, I take offense at that.
We'll line up against the wall, comrade.
Actually, come to think of it, Lord Captain Commander, you are another published author. Suppose someone was to write a fanfic about one of your pieces. What would be your opinion on that?
It would depend on which one.
Let's go through them then.
So I imagine that I mostly just kind of focus on the immediate story usually, but I think that you could feasibly, with Lost Legion, what I did was I actually made sure to I knew that one of the things about the book that I wanted to do was I wanted to have a 500-year time gap. But what I didn't want to do was have a giant exposition dump when the main character gets out of basically an extra-dimensional prison where he doesn't age for centuries. So what I did was I made I created an in-world history book, and I just put snippets of said history into each perspective shift.
Mm-hmm.
So that the audience would know, okay, this is what has happened. These are the important events. Now it even filled in the main character Valkar Perion's backstory in the mode of an in-world history book. So I suppose that you could write a previously in the world of Valkar Perion, like his backstory, maybe even do some writing on the conquest of the Dragon Empire. You'd also do stuff on the historical events that I outlined, like the first catastrophe, like the Cataclysm, the second catastrophe, which was the Wrathkar invasion, and then the third catastrophe being the Blood Mage invasion and the union of the Aldragon and Delphana empires. With Rise of the Dark Queen, you could do the backstory of the Dark Queen and how she became that way. Maybe you'll even do a prequel about that one of these days. You could also do a story about kind of some of the time gaps in between, like how, like what happened in between 2 and 3, because there's a significant time jump between the two. Same with 3 and 4. But that's kind of, that would be one. Prince of Winter, I don't know how much fan fiction you could really get out of that one, other than maybe just stuff in the past. I don't really outline much of the history, but I guess you could write like alternative history with that, perhaps. With my Dragonlord Annals series, you could definitely do more. You could definitely do fan fiction with that one, because with that one, the plan currently there's only 1 book out, but I have 2 finished and ready to go, with a 4th one about halfway finished, and the 5th one 80% finished, I think, around, give or take. And that one has several time jumps, and you could actually write quite a bit in the gaps, just because there is a consistency with the dragons that live through those time periods, and you could just use those dragons as kind of just the binding point, along with the invented characters that you could come up with. But ultimately, I would be very flattered if somebody cared about my book enough to write fan fiction about it.
Well, speaking of that, I actually found that I have recursive fan fiction myself on Questionable Questing. Someone read one of the fics that I wrote. They got an idea off of that, and then they commissioned someone to write their idea. So, yeah. I'm actually really flattered by that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I would be flattered too. And also, if I were a published author, that's basically free advertisement. So,
Yeah.
heck yeah.
I mean, some people really don't like it, but I guess I kind of understand. Because
I mean, yeah,
it's
I
your
could
baby.
understand not liking it. Yeah, it would be flattering to know that you have a fan base that is dedicated to your work enough to create content derivative of it. But on the other hand, I'm just personally, I'm a particularly slow writer. You know, I have a full-time job. I have a multiple responsibilities.
Don't write my stuff for me. In other
Indeed.
words.
Sort of, yeah. And especially, you know, with my work, I am very much an architect with stories. I'm not really a gardener. I like to have a set idea of what is going to happen, when it's going to happen, and how I'm going to get there, and a lot of the dialogue along the way.
Yeah.
So there's one particular, I don't remember what author it was, but there was an author who was writing a series, and someone wrote a fan fiction and sent it to them, and it turns out the fanfic writer had anticipated a particular twist that they were going to do, and so the author was worried about potential litigation, you know, accusations of potential plagiarism. So to play it safe, they were forced to change their plan. And that's something that would completely derail my story if I were to try that.
Yeah. It's just... Yeah. So, I guess it's... What if the fanfic is really bad, though? Yeah.
We're
We're writing Lord of the Rings, and they're
50 Shades of Gollum.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or
Jesus.
probably worse, we're writing Lord of the Rings, and they're writing The Last Jedi.
Sponge my buttocks is precious.
I'm sorry, just give me our buttocks.
Whoa. Dang.
Meat's back on the menu, boys. Proceeds to whip out giant dick.
Ooh.
Yeah, it
Ooh.
brings a whole new meaning to the quest to destroy the ring, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Ooh, that's
Yes.
actually, that is actually a good question. So, fanfic that expands on the world, I would actually be fine with AUs to take like different alternative takes on my stuff. Ending rewrites, shippers, LOL, like Raylos, yeah, like they're frantically
Oh
panning.
God, Raylos. Ugh.
Oh yeah.
Raylos are more degenerate than Bumblebee shippers, and that's saying something.
Yeah,
Oh god.
ugh.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah.
There's in my book there's two leads. The two of the three protagonists spend a lot of time together, and there's a man and a woman, Paul Bowman and Fiora Vaughn. And I have made it very clear in all of my work outside the series that they are not going to be a couple. Under no circumstances are these two going to be a couple. And honestly, why would they? One of the Fiora Vaughn is she's of the nobility. She's very high class, and she's basically had to fight to get her way her entire life. Paul is offensively working class. He's basically a lout. These people have nothing in common besides their job. It makes... Sorry,
Makes
getting
no
political
sense.
for a moment. And
Makes no
the
sense.
first... But when I gave it to one of my beta readers, the first thing he said is, "Oh, these two are going to be a couple, right? They're going to be a couple."
No.
And despite my best efforts, I have never been able to dissuade him from that notion.
Well-
That one thing, that does stick in my craw.
And well, that's
To
kind
the point
of
where I've even gone into the characterization and tinkered it around to make the main character attracted to the what is the in-universe equivalent of exotic foreign chicks, just to make it absolutely clear that they are not going to be an item.
yeah.
That is actually really
You
funny.
see what you made me do, Mike?
There are speaking of shipping, I find in some of the things that I read or watch, I choose one couple. Sometimes it's canon, sometimes it's not, and sometimes I'm just being cracky because I'm doing a
Hi, Sensei Mike.
hello.
I wasn't talking about you, Sensei. Different Mike.
Yeah. But sometimes it's there are just pairings that I like, there are pairings that I don't like, and then there are pairings that make absolutely no sense to me. So, like, say just for an easy example, Shipper's gonna
That doesn't
ship
mean I
Carl,
gotta like it.
yeah, it doesn't mean you have to like
It is
There
unavoidable.
are
It is
Oh,
your destiny.
there are
Well, basically, yeah. I can, basically,
Look,
yeah.
everything tastes better with chocolate.
Yeah, I got a description
yeah,
queued up where he describes this one particular woman as being like a statue cast in bronze.
Sounds hot.
Well, he thinks so too.
yeah. Well, but some ships don't make sense to me, and I will use. Yeah, let's use Sword Art Online for that. Going on fanfiction.net, you would not think that Kirito and his sister Sugaha are raised together because there are a whole lot of fanfic written where the two of them are paired. But the two of them, they're cousins. I don't care. They were raised as siblings. They are siblings. It doesn't matter that they are 1 degree apart, 1 degree further apart than I am from my brother. It's still disgusting.
Look, okay, cousin is perfectly fine. All right. Look, FDR married
As
his
long-
third cousin.
As long as your family does not have a history of marrying first cousins, then it's fine.
I can already
But-
hear a ghost of Edvard Westermark pulling his hair out and screaming.
Yeah. But, and I make this distinction, but the cousins cannot be raised as siblings. Because then you have to overcome the, I think it's called Westermark effect?
Yep, the
Yeah.
Westermark effect.
Yes. Because they were raised as siblings. That's what they think they are. As soon as Suga figured out that the player she liked was her brother, she dropped those feelings. And yet
Oversharing, Mike.
Yeah.
Wait, so SAO was the creepiest anime you've ever seen. Boy.
Oh, my sweet summer child. What do you know of?
In the
There are a
words
lot of
of-
stuff that's creepier.
in the words of one of my favorite horror film villains, we have such sights to show you.
Yes. And
Which one
then
is that? Which one is that?
Pinhead from Hellraiser. It's the first film when Kirsty opens the box for the first time, and then I forget what she says, but then Pinhead says, "Oh, we have such sights to show you."
that's
I am taking that. I am taking that. That sounds great.
yeah.
Oh, dude, the first Hellraiser is fantastic. If you haven't seen it,
I don't plan to. I'm not a horror fan. Ugh. Why are we always talking about these? Because it happens. And there happens to be a lot of shippers in the Sword Art Online fandom in particular that do not care that it would be supremely awkward and the characterization just makes no sense. And
look,
at that point, anyway, Kirito's already married to his wife.
look.
I'm sorry,
okay.
his girlfriend. Yeah.
Look, okay, so look. Sometimes S&M just can't get it off. Sometimes you have to go the ultimate step and stick it inside a relative, all right? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I do understand that. It's just not in my SAO fic.
If you spend any time around the Ruby fandom, the shipping is fucking just nonsensical at times. Basically,
Bumblebee and White Rose for me. But
Bumblebee is cancer. White Rose makes no sense. However, Rose Garden is like the one that just creeps me out because you're shipping a 14-year-old boy with a 17-year-old girl who's going to be legally an adult in a year, and it's like,
Rose Garden?
Okay. Oscar and
which
Ruby.
one?
Oscar and Ruby.
Oscar and oh god.
It
no.
is immensely popular. It is immensely
What?
popular. I don't know why.
It's just,
The one with Coco and Flint makes more sense than that. And like,
Yeah.
it
I mean, in
seems
that
as if,
case, they don't really have a lot of characterization in the show, so you have a lot more.
oh god, Ruby
free space
is
to
like
work
a
with.
plank. She's a plank. she's. I wouldn't say she's a Rey Palpatine. She's just on the verge, but she's not fully one yet. And I say yet because I know it's gonna happen. God, I don't know why I
Yeah.
still watch. I watch out of obligation, really.
well, with Rose Garden, I could see it working as long as nothing happens until after Oscar reaches maturity himself. So as long as Ruby was willing to wait before making any moves past second base. Oh wait, no, not second base. First base is hand holding, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, hand holding is the lewdest thing you could possibly do. Come on.
How lewd, yes.
Look, if you're holding someone's hand, you might as well be fucking your sister. All right, they're the same thing.
Not, but
Like White Rose. White Rose has always baffled me. Like always. I don't get it.
well, it's I think it's built from the fact that they learn to respect each other more than anything else.
Yeah, but they barely talk to each other after. They barely talk to each other though. Like in the past 3 seasons, they barely talked to each other. They barely interacted. Wait. Because incest is popular kink in Japan. That is true. That is true.
It is a narratively useful medium for the development of isolated characters, edgy settings, 3 instances of instance. Oh god,
that is true. See, because I only consume the highest quality hentai, so I know.
Yeah, it's just but yeah, there are some ships that just don't make sense to people, and
I agree.
For me, it's Kirito makes no sense with anyone but his wife.
Yeah, mine, I did, well, basically this girl, like, so what she wanted to do was kind of actually something in the history of a Game of Thrones, where it's this in-world history book that has this really odd kind of tale about this girl who is employed to try and seduce the king, and it's, and my friend was like, I want this to kind of be canon and have them have a kid and continue on from that and see what the repercussions would be.
Oh, yes. I think that's where it started, at least. Charles Falcons? Nope, wrong one.
That's so funny.
Yeah, isn't it because Ruby and Weiss are partners?
Yeah, they are. They are
that
partners.
I think that's also how Bumblebee started.
Well,
because they were partners too.
Yeah, and now they're actually trying to make it canon, and they're failing miserably at it.
It's like, if you can find a way to do it organically, then go for it. But if it's gotten to the point where it doesn't work, don't.
Look. Okay, Blake had to learn the same lessons she did in Volume 2. She had to be an absolute piece of shit in Volumes 4 and 5. She had to be a massive hypocrite, and same with Yang. And Yang had to have horribly executed PTSD, but they held hands. They held hands when they fought Adam, who did nothing wrong.
Yes, Drake the Duelist. Kirito and Asuna are what we like to call an OTP, which is one true pairing. Don't ask what an OT3 is.
Oh, is that harem stuff?
Yes.
Is that what they were trying to do with Wolverine?
Maybe? I don't... It's...
I don't know. I heard a while ago they were trying to have Wolverine have some weird fucking polygamous relationship with Cyclops and Jean Grey. I don't know. It was...
No!
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. This is just something I heard. But I'm like, what? The whole idea with Jean and Logan and Scott, that's their conflict.
That doesn't make any sense. I always saw Logan more of as a guy who just was not interested.
Well, he was interested. He just knew he couldn't.
Maybe? I mean...
I grew up on the X-Men cartoon, all right, from the 90s, so that's what I'm mostly familiar with.
Hey, me too. It's okay. And Batman the Animated Series, the Superman animated stuff, Justice League, even though I wasn't really into that, Static Shock. Yeah, I've dated myself.
I'm offended. How dare you?
What? I've just basically told everyone how old I am.
You let people know your age. It's fine.
Age ain't nothing but a number, baby.
I'll tell you my age. I'm 27 years old.
32.
30.
Alrighty.
Oh my god, I'm not the oldest one anymore. In any
No,
of my group
you
of friends.
aren't. You never were.
Yes, I have. I've been like either the oldest or the second oldest. Everyone I know is like in their early to mid 20s. It's meh.
I'm 20. I'm 24. I'll be 25 in December.
God damn it.
We actually have another guest. Let me find an appropriate entrance for her.
Undertaker throwing mankind off. Oh my god, it's Cthulhu!
I'm gonna start screaming adjectives and then have a heart attack.
Nice to see you, Abigail. Always a pleasure.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear
Yep.
you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good.
Indeed.
Yeah, I just had something expected come up, but on Tuesday, not Monday. So I'm home now. So
Yeah. I'm not going to say what day in December, Ember.
it's December already. I didn't get the memo.
Well,
She's
it feels
asking
like
when-
it feels
she's
like it should be December this year.
She's asking what day in December. Well, I guess 27th. It's the 27th of December. Ember. So yeah. Cool, we're sharing our ages. Lovely.
Yay.
You've been enough topic.
Yeah. So, I actually got
What's up, Don?
what? What's up, Doc? What's up, Doc?
Yeah.
What's up, Don?
What's up, Doc? I don't eat carrots anymore because, well, after Lola got the cancer from him. I had to quit him.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
miss her every day.
Oh, if I had known I'd come in at this part of the stream, I would have had some jokes prepared.
Well, we're just kind of a naturally jokey stream. We've been making a bunch of incest jokes for the last little bit
Yeah.
because Game of Thrones came up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I actually had found a video about George R. R. Martin and his kind of opinion on fan fiction.
Oh boy.
Oh, yay.
Huzzah.
Oh, dear.
Oh, okay. I don't have to. Okay.
Think about the ones that are not officially licensed. Again, like the fan appropriations and fan art, fan stories,
Fan
rewriting.
appropriation? What the hell is that?
I've long been an opponent of fan fiction. And let me define fan fiction very precisely here, because sometimes I get criticized by people saying, "You wrote fan fiction when you were young, and now you criticize it. How dare you?" I wrote what we called fan fiction in the '60s in comic fandom, but that was simply fiction written by fans,
Right.
and published without any money.
Oh,
and I certainly
no.
did a lot of that, but I never borrowed anybody else's character or world. I was a comic fan. I didn't write about Spider-Man or Superman or Batman. I created my own heroes, and wrote about them, the White Raider and Manta Ray and Garazan the Mechanical Warrior and all that stuff I was writing when I was 14 and 15. But they were my own characters, my own stories. What fan fiction has come to mean is writing Star Wars stories or writing Star Trek stories or writing, slash fiction, which is, taking taking characters and putting them together in unlikely sexual situations.
That's not what slash is.
And, you know.
Nope.
Martin.
That's usually
Sorry.
gay. That's usually
Yeah.
gay, relating to gay relationships, at
Well,
least that I've discovered.
Yeah.
Very much not unusual.
No, it's not. And it's like, well, he never ever wrote fanfic from the sound of it. He was always making up his own characters and doing stuff like that. He has never dipped his toes into someone else's sandbox to write about that, is what I think he's saying. But it's like, fan fiction has always been about writing the characters of an already established universe. That's what it's always been. But George R.R. Martin, from what it sounds like, has never actually done that. So he doesn't really understand the appeal, I don't think.
Sounds like he borrowed from the genre of comic books more than any kind of actual fan fiction.
Yeah.
Well, did his characters live inside of a pre-established comic book universe, though?
No,
probably.
he said he was making his own characters and his own worlds. That's what he just said.
Because if let's say some heroes took place in the Marvel universe, technically you could qualify that as fan fiction because you're still using established properties and you maybe have established characters interact. But if you're talking about his own original stuff, well, yeah, that's not fan fiction.
So what he said, like, he wanted to kind of define his. So I think what is great about Martin is that he defined his terms very precisely, and he just meant fiction written by fans of the genre. And kind of he's saying like fan fiction is kind of turned into kind of just writing stuff within original universes. But it's kind of shifted to fan fiction about like a specific fandom. Because in the 60s, like, there wasn't really that many like mainstream interesting fictional universes like there are for Lord of the Rings, and really there isn't really much Lord of the Rings fan fiction, at least that I've seen.
Well, when
I was thinking about, once I finish this Logain fan fiction, I was thinking about doing a fan fiction set in Lord of the Rings universe.
Oh, you're doing one on Logain from Dragon Age?
No,
Logain from the Wheel of Time.
Oh, fuck. I was like, what? A Logain fan? What? I'd read that. Oh, I don't.
Yeah, that was
the first person to make that mistake, though.
Okay.
No, I mentioned it too. I mean, dude's kind of a tosser, and his a Song of Ice and Fire series went downhill so fast. So, But
I think that George is actually like a pretty good guy. Like, he's actually very, very liberal.
Yeah.
He's kind of one of the few people that I would say does representation very well, because he has fought from the time he was kind of a broke author in the 80s to put gay and people of color, gay people and people of color in his books as characters.
Well,
and
yeah,
he's very, very liberal, and so I would say that I think that he's got some motivation problems of late.
Yeah, but I can't blame the guy for having motivation problems. Would you?
No,
I mean
can't.
his adaptation was absolutely butchered. Like he watched he watched the murder of his children, metaphorical child. He's just like, oh.
If you take out using the thing you're a fan of, then it can't be fan fiction. So, if he was writing a fanfic, if he was using the characters of, let's say, Batman and Superman, because he specifically said comics. If he was writing about Batman and Superman, then yes, that would be fanfiction. But the way he's defined it, that's not fanfic. He has defined it, which is good, But that's not what fanfic is. And that's never been what fanfic is. Well, he hates fanfiction, so clearly he's explaining it in the worst way possible so everyone else can too. Let's
And
see.
it's Martin, so I'm sure this video has a ton of views already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is slash necessarily gay? I remember it not necessarily always meaning that, or maybe it's because the term was younger and less established. But okay.
I mean, the way it was explained to me, it was just pairings that aren't canon. It's just that because of all of the normalization of hetero romances, it means that slash fiction has a huge gay component, just so that people have the representation they don't see as much in popular media. Like, that's my guess. I could be wrong, but
yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah,
I
so
stand
yeah, when he asks why he writes strong female characters, he just writes them like any other character.
Yeah, I
think-
mean, if
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
we don't want strong female characters. We need to stop saying that. We have to start saying we want strong characters that just happen to be female. We want a well-written character. And a well-written character has virtues, but also flaws. And flaws that get them in actual trouble. Not like Rey Palpatine.
I mean, like,
yeah.
Jesus Christ, Bayonetta can throw a satellite from orbit with her legs, and like has more flaws than Rey.
I read
I've
the books
actually used
before
this.
the TV
I've
series came
deconstructed
out.
this
I got
concept in
so
my
annoyed.
own book. They're one of the three leads. One of the three main protagonists is what you would call a strong female character, or rather, she is a female character and she is physically strong. You know, I make multiple scenes where I show her doing a workout routine, which I physically cannot do and probably will never be able to do. And there's a scene in book one where she punches the other main character clear across an alley and into a pile of trash.
Yeah,
And,
wow.
you know that. But she gets no respect from anyone else, and she has basically no connections with the rest of her crew. And in this one of the scenes I'm writing right now, we're basically going to learn that it's because she treats everyone like crap. So her arc throughout the series becomes learning to not rely on her own strength, but rely on other people, and to foster the strength in her subordinates, and sort of rely on other people.
Well,
which, of course, she hasn't really been able to do for her entire career, because, you know, being a woman in a man's world, she's had to swim against the current. And it's made her strong, it's made her tough, it's made her sharp, but it's also made her a horrible person to deal with. And
I like that a
her
lot.
arc through the series is how she comes to deal with that, and how she comes to learn.
I kind of have something similar with one of going back to fan fiction. One of the fanfics I shared with Dunn. It's this one character. She is physically strong, but like superhuman, as in she can literally suplex a car over her head.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Oh yeah, I love a kind of woman.
She actually comes from a tribe of like literal, like maybe not literal giants, but like really tall people. Like she herself is 7 feet tall and sticks out like a sore thumb within normal society. And there's all these different cultural differences with her, and she's very self-conscious about her size when she's around other people.
Hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite strong female characters.
Long as
oh, go for it, Neph.
have written scenes where I've got two characters going to the gym so that they can build back up to a healthy body weight because they haven't been moving for like 2 years. Obviously, you know what that is.
Yeah. I think one of my favorites was actually Kaya Ashbringer in my Queen of the Ashes book. or Ashbringer Queen, since there is a Queen of Ash book out there that I'm just like, I was so proud of that frickin' title, and now you make me change it. Screw you,
No.
stupid romance author.
Oh, is it one of those dollar store romance books that you?
I don't know. I just found it on. I just looked up Queen of the Ashes. There's a book of that title on Amazon. Dang it!
Oh well.
Yeah. So, but like Kaya Ashbringer, basically what I did was kind of. I kind of set up that there's a way to.
Oh no! You keep cutting out.
Oh, why is that? That's weird. Yeah, maybe I just need to get closer. Am I coming through okay now?
Yep.
I mean, I could hear you just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So basically, like what happens is what I wanted to do. Might be you, Neph. That might.
Yeah, I can hear him just fine.
Yeah, I'm not having any connection problems here.
Same.
Weird. But basically, what
this is. Oh dear.
Oh, you're having internet gas problems, Neph?
No, not me. But it's just everyone.
It's the ISP then, is it?
I think it's just StreamYards itself.
That's weird because I can hear everybody, including you, pretty well. And...
Same.
Yeah.
Sounds like Neph is cutting out sometimes to me, but everyone else sounds like complete sentences.
That's really weird.
It's even weirder because I'm not really talking in complete sentences.
Sentences
horrible
are for the Chinese, okay?
Mm-hmm. So who here has read Oathbringer by any chance?
I have not read that.
I've not heard of that.
Oh.
I'm still getting through the first book.
Oh, okay.
Alas.
Okay.
I have a backlog on my Audible, so.
I don't care about spoilers though, so if you want to discuss it, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. So, well, I'll keep it secret since it's something of a spoiler. But I very much, I loved the character of Dalinar Kholin in. Thank you, Master of the Deck. You are a lady of class. Don't worry, Neph, you are a lady of class. You are just a lady in a different class of equal rank and merit.
Oh, Neph is under DDoS attack by George R. R. Martin? What?
Oh no! Oh no! No, you're getting DDoSed.
Yeah.
Legion.
Yeah.
Does not forgive, he does not forget. Expect him.
Yeah. George R. Oathbringer is a 55-hour audiobook.
Oh, sweet fucking Jesus Christ.
I kid you not. And I think that it's of the other books in the series are of equivalent length.
Wow. Yeah.
So
pretty much the same length, give or take a few hundred pages.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had this idea kind of percolating in my head because I gave the orcs in this world the ability to become human if they go through a scarification ritual. And they come from kind of an area kind of similar to South Africa, at least like this particular genotype of orc. The orcs that would be white people were wiped out a long time ago. It all comes back to Yu-Gi-Oh, doesn't it? Funnily enough, I actually have a character who uses a Yu-Gi-Oh-esque magic system as his personal thing.
Which one? Which magic? Are we talking about the magic systems in the anime, or just the card game?
Card game.
Okay, because we're talking about the anime. I'm like, oh, that's a tall order. Because you switched one.
So, because
the card game was like the most interesting part of the first series.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't play by the rules.
No, they didn't.
No.
Yeah, so I got the idea basically just like he has a gauntlet that acts almost like a dual disc, and he slides cards into it and they activate, but he needs to fit the requirements first. And each card has a unique special ability. So, but he gets hooked onto he's a ghost by this point in the story, and he gets hooked onto this girl named Kaya Ashbringer, who basically has almost like a David type story where she defeats the orc king with his help, and the king is jealous and tries to have her executed, but the general of the army is like, no, I'm not doing this, I'm supporting you in a rebellion. And just slowly but surely she starts a rebellion to overthrow the king, kind of a la David and Saul. And then ultimately she executes the king, and his son just marries her sister, but he says, I don't want to be king, I'm abdicating to you. So for a while it seems like everything's good until her brother-in-law is murdered by Farago the Corpse Maker, who I think is actually my favorite villain since he's Killmonger done right. He actually had racially based bad things happen to him. Like, he got put into prison because he found out that the orcs were being kidnapped and put in, and as a cover for the humanoid dragons being kidnapped as well. So what he did was he decided to wage war on the king and his heirs, and has engineered the Uru human war that's been going on for several years. And so Kaya, after her brother-in-law is killed, she goes on a roaring rampage of revenge and burns several Uru towns as a reprisal. And that leads her to try to hunt him down, but she's not successful. And it kind of makes her go into a depression spiral where she can't really do much other than drink and fight. She has just kind of abdicated all responsibility to be queen to her sister as regent, and she's just been wandering for a very, very long time. So, yeah. That's my pitch for Ashbringer Queen, coming out in 5 months or something. Well, or 3, however long it takes me to finish it.
I want it already.
Yeah, I also kind of based her, like, Kaya's look after Zoe Saldana, and Farago's after Chiwetel Ejiofor, the operative from Firefly. So I just thought it would be a cool thing to kind of use some kind of models that you don't really see in other fiction, just kind of because I'd already established it in the universe that dragons and Uru are kind of have darker skin just because. Uru, because of the place in which they live. Dragons just kind of cuz. I just wanted to use some actors as models, since I just didn't really see that many as used as models for in other stories that I had read. So I thought it would be interesting to kind of just do it and not make a big deal out of it, and even use something like the Native American re-education programs as something that would be, this would be an interesting cause for a war between two different races.
That'd do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we're talking about using actors as models, well, one thing that I did, writing wise, with part 3 of what I'm working on, is I've included a character by the name of Han Duet, who looks exactly like a young Harrison Ford. And I chose the name Han Duet specifically because he's supposed to be an XP of Han Solo.
Yeah.
And all the other characters absolutely love it because they were original Star Wars fans. None of them liked the sequels because that is kind of coloring my writing at the moment.
Well, that's because the sequels are cancer.
That's true.
Like, they're literal cancer on the franchise. It's not even being hyperbolic. It's like from a,
they gave us Raylos. They gave us the damn Raylos.
It's not even it's not even the Raylos or even just Rey herself. It's literally also everything else. Like, Anakin sacrifice doesn't mean anything anymore. The Force is fucking broken. And yes, I know.
Like, the Force is not magic. The Force can do some things, and there are some things that are instinctive, but there are skills that you actually need training to use.
I mean, like, if you get into the EU, the Force becomes ridiculous because you have, I think, Luke uses a black hole as a weapon. There are Force users that can manipulate the energies of stars. And
yeah, but he can't. He always trains that stuff. He figures this stuff out because he's training. He doesn't figure this stuff out because he downloaded the information into his brain.
This is true. Like, it's like, of all, it's like, we need to fix this. We need to explain why Rey has all this. She force downloads Kylo's knowledge. Yes! Brilliant!
No, it's not brilliant. That's not how our brains... One, that's not how our brains work. And two, even if she has knowledge, she doesn't have any of the training.
Well, it's fiction. The writer can make it work if they want it to. Just right, 2020.
Well,
it's like
it's more of, okay, I was fine with her being able to shoot because, that's the Force augmenting her. But the mind trick?
The piloting.
For Christ's sakes!
Piloting.
The piloting, too. That was... Luke had... Let's see. He was a good shot. And he was a
shiny. Shiny. Shiny somewhere. He's animating. He lifts his head and he goes, I feel like I need to be summoned. I'm needed somewhere for Star Wars. And then he just spins around like Wonder Woman in Dawn's clone trooper armor.
The rage over Star Wars, it calls to Shiny.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, the downloading of knowledge is... I can maybe give them that, but the muscle memories and the instincts, no.
Yeah, you can't download them. Sorry.
Can't
download the mind-body connection. You need the body to get used to it before you can do that.
Yeah, so...
But this is a movie about space wizards intended for children.
I don't want my children to have crap.
Oh, I agree. I don't want any of my kids to have this garbage either.
I don't know your opinions on Pixar, but I kind of want to wave that in their faces to be like, yes, it can be for children, but the writing can still be good.
Yeah.
This is a film about space wizards intended for children.
Oh God, that was, and then he goes on to pontificate that The Last Jedi is some kind of masterpiece of storytelling with these deep themes and all this stuff, and it's just like, Patrick, you are a special one, aren't you?
I particularly resent the idea that if it's for children, that means it's okay for it to be bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Last
Yeah, I don't
Airbender
like
is a thing. Your argument is invalid.
This is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, I would agree. Oh
dear.
Last Airbender, the
we
original
lost
Teen Titans, Batman the animated series,
Yeah,
Superman the animated
The
series,
time
Batman
span
Beyond.
between the Airbender movie that does not exist and the anime means that, yeah, all those kids grew up and now they're very disappointed in the director.
Yeah. And then they watch Legend of Korra and their soul is crushed even more.
I wasn't like super angry at Legend of.
So good.
I wasn't super angry at Legend of Korra, but I don't think it's. I think it's very flawed.
Incredible. I can't be too mad at it either. I usually just remove Korra from it because it's like, I don't know, just something about it to me personally just feels like none of this really connects. It doesn't feel like it takes place in the same universe to me, and I don't know why.
It feels like fan fiction created by Fanfiction, even though it's created by the same original people.
That's
Sam's
true.
One guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that one dude that wrote some of the best episodes of the series.
Yeah, Aaron Ahaz.
Yeah, that dude. So it's like, yeah, you're right. It's fan fiction written by the original creators.
Yeah, I know I enjoyed Korra. I think I remember the first time I watched it that I enjoyed The Last Airbender more. But it's just, I don't want to sit here and start defending it when it sounds like I'm like a level 1 or 0 critiquer, especially when some of the things are like, yes, that wasn't a waste of time. Now explain it, Abigail. I don't have the words for it.
You haven't evolved as a critic, okay?
Exactly.
I honestly, to give any kind of detailed opinion, I need to rewatch it, and I just don't want to do that. I really don't. I will just refer ER's video on the first season. That's just what I usually do.
Oh, cool. Neph's back.
Sorry about that. My internet died for like a second.
It makes sense.
I don't know why.
The DDoS must have worked finally.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Look, George is a boomer, all right. So he had some difficulties, but he managed to get it.
Yeah. Let's see. What was I gonna say? It's like we were going on about how. Yeah, my computer did crap out, unfortunately. Yes, I ran out of internet gas. I'm sorry. I had to raid Literature Devil's stock.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's see. Oh, right. We were talking about how Ray downloading the information was fine, but her being able to use the skills without training was what didn't.
I would even say the downloading is nonsense because I don't even think they explain how she freaking did it.
Yeah, that's not explained either.
They don't explain that she did. They don't even say that she did it. They just, that's a book explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from the novelization, which is like, now, which is like, you've given an explanation, but now you've opened up this other Pandora's box of absolute nonsense.
Yeah, at least with Luke, all of the bullshit abilities that he gained because he found the information on the techniques and trained his ass off. He didn't download the information from a holocron.
Yeah, every time holocrons come up, someone's like, "Oh, good, I can spend years practicing with what's in here," kind of deal.
Yeah, that's how it was. Well, hooked up to the explanation for SAO is that if you don't have a connection for 2 hours, then yes, your brain gets microwaved. Or if you don't have power for 10 minutes.
Ouch.
So, yeah.
Sure.
Ooh,
Market 3D.
Yes. Show us the meme.
Totally send
it. I need your
Send
meme
it.
to survive. Your
Send
memes give me the strength.
Yeah, we could watch a little bit more of the video to kind of see if there's any other talking points that Mr. Martin brings up.
I don't. What I don't know doesn't hurt me. So if people want to do that, fine. But don't send it to me and expect me to prove it or something. Now, fan art, that's fine. That's a whole nother thing. Fan art is great, and people do send me links to that all the time. Some of this you just have to. What you want to do for your own amusement is great, but you can't start selling it on eBay or merchandising it, because then you'll get sued. If not by me, you'll get sued by one of my multiple makers of bobblehead dolls or figurines, because you'll be moving into one of the areas that they're paying me good money to be into. So.
And Tom, did you have a quick follow-up to that about what it means for the publishing industry now that, again, texts circulate beyond the actual books that you're selling?
Well, I basically agree with George. That his ideas are his ideas. Somebody, his characters are his characters. For us, it doesn't have much effect because none of it is very powerful. Some of it creates good publicity and some of it is annoying, but frankly, we don't pay a whole heck of a lot of attention to it.
Who is this guy?
So George, for you, I'm curious about what does that mean to you as an author?
I actually don't know. I think he's like some kind of. I think he's Dan Brown, maybe.
Yeah. Dan Brown. Okay.
Oh yeah, that
Drake.
the guy who made me want to start writing because he was, and who made me read the same book 4 times.
Yeah. Well, Drake the Duelist. A whole third of the nerve gear's weight is a battery. So if you're running on battery power and it's got like 10 minutes charge, I think, then that's when it, yeah.
I mean, it's a headset around your head. It doesn't take that much energy for something catastrophic to happen to your head at that point.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. So hope you don't lose connection for 2 hours, or or a blackout.
Considering how long they're in SAO, there was a blizzard last winter, the winter before, where some people were without power for days, so that would suck.
Yeah, that would really suck.
Well, didn't they take all the SAO people and like put them in the hospital and stuff?
They did.
Okay.
I don't know if they were all put into the same hospital. No, they can't have been put in the same hospital complex because
that'd be nonsense.
There's too many people.
It was worldwide.
For one.
So it would have been like regional hospitals, but it would have been like the SAO ward kind of deal with a game like that.
Yeah, there'd be an entire ward in every every hospital where they had people.
Welcome, Nick Brown, man of renown. Good to see you.
General Brown of the man renown.
Let me try. Hello there.
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
General Kenobi.
Hello there.
Okay, that's actually a very good impression.
Which one? Which one of us?
General Kenobi.
General. I can't do it. General Kenobi.
I've never tried Grievous's voice. I feel like I'm missing out.
If you actually watch the 2003 Clone Wars cartoon, his voice is completely different. The only reason why his voice sounds like that is because Mace Windu crushed his chest cavity.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, yes, Dr. Crow, this is a true statement.
Of course I am. Unfortunately, I happen to be in the naughty corner because my internet gets ran out.
Yeah. I think my only I have two impressions that I am most proud of, and that's my Joker impression and my George Takei impression.
Which Joker is it?
Heath Ledger.
Okay.
It's, well, hello, beautiful. You look lovely. You want to know how I got these scars? My father was a drinker and a fiend. And one night he goes off crazier than usual. I'll stop there.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Read your impressions as of Gollum.
Precious.
Sir does
Smeagol.
Precious.
Smeagol. Smeagol wants to see them. Dead. What's Titus, Precious?
Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Even you couldn't say no to that.
Yeah.
The potatoes. I must break them. And then after the spirit is broken, then they have my permission to die.
Or
Bane was a meme factory.
yes, he was. What will break first? Your spirit or your body?
I'm somehow more intelligible in this role than I was in Mad Max.
Yeah. So, I do think that my George Takei impression is actually very good. As a gay man and a human being, I was very offended by this man saying that he hated gay people. I was very saddened. However, I must say, we don't hate you. In fact, we like you. We like you very much. Your strong, powerful calves. Your smooth, chocolatey head. Glazed in man sweat.
And I just... Does it hurt? Quickly. You need to caress my calves. We need it for the dyad.
Oh my god, I hate that. Have you looked at the meme? Bring that up.
Oh.
Bring the meme up. Bring it up. Bring it up. Bring it up. Or I could do it. I don't know if I'm on the...
Yeah. You can do that. Yeah, you can do
that.
Okay. Yeah, General Grievous is so... Yeah, I would agree. General Grievous is so OP in the 2D. Like, he takes on 6 Jedi and kills...
In the comic tie-ins, he fucking obliterates Dirge. And if you know anything about Dirge, that is an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sharing the screen. Go ahead.
I don't see it. Oh, there we go.
Needs a progress bar.
Yes, it does.
It needs to have
so great.
It needs to have one of those old school progress bars.
Yes, it does.
The progress bar is moving, but the remaining time is going up.
What the hell? Yes.
Hi, I'm Clippy. I see you seem to be happy.
I do remember when the stream
about again.
We were talking about Yeah, but we were talking about fan fiction. And
We
then
were
George R. R.
talking about
Martin.
fan fiction,
We
and
were,
then-
yes.
Then we got sidetracked.
And now it's kind of just become miscellaneous stuff.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, the sequel trilogy of Star Wars is just bad fan fiction. Let's just be honest about
it. It is. How the hell did they? That. Grr. I can't believe people paid money for it. It's so bad.
3D Grievous got beat up by Gungans. Look, Jar Jar is secretly the most powerful Force user ever. So, come on.
I used to do a good impression of Jar Jar until I realized it was racist. So I don't do that anymore.
Jar Jar's not racist. How dare you? Jar Jar did nothing wrong. Disney did Jar Jar so dirty.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. That's where we're all at.
Yeah.
We're sad that Jar Jar got done.
Compared to what we got in the sequel trilogy, Jar Jar is the least of our problems.
He was annoying for one film. Rey is the protagonist in 3 films.
Yeah, he was way too much in the first film that he was in. And then he was scaled back enough that he was an annoying side character. That was still important.
Space Junk brings up a good point. No, it isn't. The writers of the sequels are not fans. You're correct. It's not fan fiction. It's hate fiction. I apologize.
Yeah, Thanks, Space Junk. Yes.
Jar Jar, according to the Disney canon, Jar Jar died a poor and failing jester. That makes me sad. That just makes...
The lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of the sheep.
No, that's not an opinion. It's a fact.
But that makes no sense, though, because he was a freaking senator. Maybe not senator. He was a...
No, he was a senator.
Yeah,
he was part
senator.
of the Senate. Yeah, he was a senator. I don't know. I like Mahler's idea where he becomes a bounty hunter.
Yeah. Yeah, his much better.
We need to rectify this. Disney, hire me and I will make you a Jar Jar movie and it will make more money than Tross.
And it will make more money than Solo because Solo lost money. Hello.
In fact, get me to do it, and I can make a Star Wars film on a not ludicrous budget, and like a normal budget, and you would be able to probably make a bigger profit.
Oh dear, we lost Dunn.
We lost Dunn.
No.
Oh. Neph, our tangent killed him. The stream. Save the stream. Save the stream.
He's so cool for actually skinning the deer. What a boss. Yeah.
Oh dear.
But it's okay. One of the things that to bring this back to fanfic, one of the things I absolutely love about Sword Art Online in particular is that it's just a fun universe, and with it being a video game, you can do you can do anything with it. I have a fanfic that I'm writing right now where I completely changed the genre of game that they were playing.
Did you have survival horror?
No, it's not. It's
We need more tentacle monsters to grab women, okay? And
it's let's say World of Battleships online, basically.
So it's
hey, Dunn! Dunn's back!
Dunn!
No.
Thank you.
No, more Arpeggio of the Blue Steel.
Mm.
It didn't start out as a crossover either. It was just inspired by it.
Push. Oh God. What is it, Blue? Oh no, Carl's gone. Carl! That kills people, Carl.
Okay. He said he had to slip out. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So, let's see. Callie 21. What happened to? Okay, what happened?
Have to leave?
No, I think like she just cut off.
Oh.
I didn't notice I had my microphone muted. I thought there was something wrong with the plug, and I accidentally unplugged my mic.
Oops.
Okay. No.
But yeah, the thing I was trying to say was, I don't remember if it was season 2 or series 2 of Sword Art Online. My mind went, oh, good, I could write anything, and then I came up with no idea. But I want to write something there at some point of just
Are you
Sword Art
talking
Online
about?
over here.
Are you talking about the Fairy Dance arc, which is the second half of the first season, or Gun Gale Online, which is the first half of the second?
The one where he rescues Asuna, and I am failing at names, and they just end with, oh yeah, anyone could create a world seed now and write any fan fiction they want with the gear.
Yeah,
That
that's the nonsense second part of season 1.
Yeah, that's Fairy Dance. Everybody hates Fairy Dance.
What? Hate it? I love it. It's fucking hilarious.
It's just the idea.
Yeah, but it's just what happens to Asuna at the very end of the arc. People hate. It's got epic music, but it's called epic rape music for a reason. Oh dear Lord.
No, that I understand. It's just the idea of the world seed of just like, oh good, now go play fanfics, write anything adjacent to Kirito and Asuna, and just do whatever you want, kind of.
Yeah,
ending.
that was Sword Art Online alternate Gun Gale. You'd like that, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, if it doesn't have Kirito in it, I'd probably like it.
Yeah, Facebook seems to be convinced that I am a guy that likes anime, so the ads I'm getting are just okay, but also the new SAO is advertised to me as well.
New SAO, is that the Alicization arc?
Alicization.
Yeah.
Underground, underworld, war, Alicization, Scale, Oberon, Omega X, Prime, Triptychon.
Yeah. There is apparently a lot of garbage I will wade through so I can look at an interesting idea and be like, yeah, but I could do it better.
So much better, yes.
Sorry.
Not... Oh, well... well, I really don't like the idea of flux lights. They're so stupid. But it's just... this was not a... SAO is not high fantasy. It is actually urban fantasy. With all the video games that they play.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think... What was I... let's see.
I guess Master of the Deck says hi.
It was... I liked the fan film that someone made for the prequels, a Phantom edit or whatever it was. No Jar Jar, just the romance between them and how it turned Anakin to the dark. That's what I was gonna read. So, yeah,
hey,
sorry
Master
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Master of the Deck is cool. She runs a Watt fan fiction site.
Yeah. So, with Sword Art Online, you can do anything with it because the fact that it all happens in video games means that you can set the characters into any kind of game you want and you're basically set.
Yep.
So if you wanted to, you could drop them in Dark Souls and torture them that way. And it would work.
You could make it so that they don't die in the game when they don't die for real when they die in the game, and they get to do that over and over and over again, and that comes with its own problems.
Yeah. We'll see you later, Dr. Crow.
Bye.
Later, Crow.
Dr.
Or no,
I
Dr.
bet-
Crow.
I bet you
okay.
don't. I bet you're not a real doctor. You're not a real doctor. You're a
Okay,
bird.
I got to go. I'm done with this. Have to grab some food. Need you tell the rest of the stream I love them, and I'll see you guys later.
Excellent, excellent.
He's
Yeah.
lying. He doesn't
For all
love
I
you.
know, for all I know, it could just be a PhD in critique. But I mean, if it's a doctor, I want to refer to him by his title.
Yeah. I kind of thought it was always teetering around sci-fi based on a high-quality MMO game with game logic. The science was kind of expected, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what Sword Art Online is. But it's also, you could make it into any kind of genre you wanted. Because as a video game, any setting works. Because let's look at what we have. We have zombie apocalypses, i.e. The Last of Us, because that's the latest thing. We've got post-apocalypse, which is the
Last of Us.
which is also The Last of Us, yes.
By the
we
way,
have
Joel did nothing wrong.
Yeah, we have fantasy games, and we have medieval games, and we have, well, any game works. You just have to come up with an explanation for why Kayaba didn't make Sword Art Online.
If SAO were Dark Souls, the game would be depopulated inside of an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've also been to some events held by the local indie game community, so I've seen stuff that's never been seen outside of that building that challenges what a game even is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a Sword Art Online fanfic can go anywhere.
Yep.
If it can be played.
Yeah.
Bye, Kelly.
So, if you wanted, you could even set them in a Sonic game. And it's a bit of a stretch, but you'd be able to make it work because they're games.
And it's also fanfic, so if I'm gonna write it, it's my rules. If someone doesn't like it, they can write their own.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd set them in the world where it's like Lord of the Flies, a Lord of the Flies type of game.
That would be interesting, actually.
Including the severed pig head.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually posted this in another server that I had. And I actually got a couple of interesting responses that I'd actually like to read out. One's actually from a lady named Iphigenia.
Yes, I have done that exact thing.
Yeah. Where she says, like, it fills a cultural niche formerly occupied by traditions of oral storytelling where stories are adjusted as they pass between communities. Right now, our media is, by virtue of a profit-driven model by which merit for publication is determined, mostly designed to appeal to a wide audience. Fanfic allows individuals to tweak it to make it more relevant to themselves, and to share it with others, and thereby communicating a community of common ideas. You were saying?
I think Dungeons and Dragons and just tabletop games in general also fill that niche for like around the fire telling stories. At the same time, under the current conditions, I'm finding it's a lot easier to write fan fiction than to run a Dungeons and Dragons game every night. For reasons.
Yeah, I'm thinking about putting my game that I'm running on hiatus because I don't know. It's easier being a player than it is being a DM.
Yeah, players can be real shits.
My players are fine. The problem is just
me. Maybe.
Mine was already on hold for a year where I was playing around in Pathfinder, but at this point I'm looking at 5e and it's like, when quarantine ends, I just want to restart the campaign anyway with the same group, but in a different rule set that does not weigh like 50 pounds worth of books.
Well, with and the other thing about SAO is it's got the full dive games where you get to actually live in the game. And it doesn't matter what kind of gamer you are, you can't tell me that you wouldn't at least check it out for a couple of hours.
I mean, once the whole, like, they're in a coma and when you die in a game for die for real thing is over, it would definitely be something that, like, yeah, I'd try that.
Yeah. I
Make
mean,
my own seed and just me and my friends, because screw the internet at large.
Yeah. But I could definitely see myself trying Alpine Online or Gun Gale Online even. I could definitely see myself at least trying those games. Which one I stuck with, I don't know.
I tried them if they weren't. I tried them if they weren't MMOs filled with a bunch of douchebags.
Exactly. Just invite only seed. I mean, I still play on an old Minecraft server from time to time, but it's like invite only, so it's a very, very well pruned garden.
Yeah. But the idea of actually being able to live in a game is the thing that a lot of people would like to at least try. And there are going to be people who go, you know what? No, I really don't like this style of gaming. I'm more traditional computer or console.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who would go, forget console and computer. This is it.
Yeah, there's people that play chess in real life. There's still people that play like retro games. Like I built a RetroPie a couple of years ago and filled it with media that I own, but it's still like, oh, it's just another, you know what I mean? It's another medium that not everyone would be on board with, but it would just be like one more way to play the game.
Yeah, and it's something that everyone would try for, maybe an hour. Because who hasn't dreamed of actually living in a game?
Well, it depends on the game.
Well, yeah, but who hasn't dreamed of living in a game?
I mean, I want to be in the world of Pokemon so I can own God.
Yeah, but if there's only one, then you better get on pretty quickly to catch it first.
Yes.
Well, that's why I'll go to Kanto, I'll exploit the missing no glitch, and I'll have like over 100 Master Balls.
Yeah. But yeah, with SAO you can set it with you can cross it over with almost anything, and
if it can be quantified and mathematically calculated by the computer, it can be put in there.
Yeah, you can cross it over with almost anything, and the only reason I say almost anything is because some things just don't lend themselves very easily to be crossed over with anything else. Harry Potter you can do almost anything with, and SAO you can do almost anything with.
Yeah.
And then on the opposite scale, I would say something like Guyver or Berserk is very difficult to do things with that don't involve like the main characters.
Yeah. Or
because
for me, Lord of the Rings is like that.
Definitely. Definitely. Because with Berserk, the entire story revolves around Guts going to kill Griffith and kill the God Hand. And it's like, you could set certain stories in that world, especially after the eclipse happens, and I'm pretty sure they'd be perfectly fine, but that's what the entire thing is built around.
Yeah, whereas in SAO, you just happen to be following one particular character.
Mm-hmm.
But especially with the very first arc of Sword Art Online, there are 10,000 people that you can play with. So if you want
You could never see Kirito and just stick to the first half of season 1 and just be in the universe trying to survive.
Exactly. You don't have to have the main characters. You don't even have to have the side characters. You have oodles of unnamed characters that you can use.
And then with Guyver as well, it's like if you're going to do a fan fiction, it's like, okay, I want my character to have a Guyver unit. Well, there was only 3 ever found. One of them's dead because it was damaged, and the other 2 are already attached to hosts. So, okay, well, I'm just going to have to rewrite the entire thing so this character gets a unit. And then you're like, well, now I need to basically rewrite the entire damn story. Or you could have someone be like a lost numbered hyperzoanoid so they're not like subjugated to the Zoalord's will. And then it's just like, how exactly are they gonna fight this? Because when you go throughout the story, Kronos all their intention is on Sho and Agito because they're the ones mainly opposing them. They're the ones that can pose an issue. And it's like, oh, okay, well, you're basically just starting off from scratch and just, doing your own thing with which is kind of like what I'm doing with the Ruby fanfic. I'm basically just scrapping all of the characters and just taking the actual world itself and just building my own stuff around it. Because with Guyver, it's like, it's very fixated on Sho, very fixated on Agito, very fixated on Aptom, all those guys, because they all have a personal stake in the story.
Yeah, and, well, there's also worlds like Campione, where
I hate that.
Don't
I hate
want
it so much.
to use any of the characters at all because they're
terrible. They're terrible.
Terrible
Erica
characters.
is a fucking piece of shit. I hate Erica so much.
So just for clarification, is it terribly written or are they terrible people?
No, it's not terribly written.
Both.
Kind of. The characters are written to be terrible.
Like, the concept is so fucking cool.
Yeah, it is.
The execution is like the special needs child injecting liquefied lead paint into his cerebral cortex.
Yeah, it says something about a series when the waifu you like best actually means the person you least dislike.
Yeah.
It's that bad.
Yeah. Like, oh fuck. Like, the idea is like you have these people like being somehow managing, let's say, because the main character killed Verathragna through some kind of weird tome or something.
Okay, so Chibi War God gave him part of one of his authorities, is what they're called in universe.
Yeah.
And he ended up using the Gilmore? Yeah, it's like called the Gilmore. Grimoire. Yeah, sorry. So he used Chibi War God gave him part of one of his abilities. And then Mr. I just want to be normal uses the Grimoire to steal another part of that same authority to kill Chibi War God.
And then he gains the power of the Persian god of victory, which you'd think it's like, oh, cool. So you have select mortals that have killed gods and have gained their powers, and you think, wow, this is going to be really cool and epic. And
it's not.
No,
it's
then
not.
You have this Italian cunt that comes along with him. It's like in the first episode she hates his fucking guts, and then in the second episode she's just a hair from just like strapping him to the bed and riding his dick. Like, it's so fucking odd and bizarre.
And what's worse is that his sister. I think his sister is the worst. No, his sister's not the worst. The worst is Erica. But
like, I've only seen the anime. I haven't read the light novel series because after I watched...
No. The light novel, it's just as bad in the light novels. It is.
Yeah, 'cause it's...
I had to put down volume 5 in disgust. And I've tried getting back into it, but I just give up every single time.
It's like aren't part of his powers based on knowledge? So you'd think he'd be like, fuck it, I don't know, in the library, using the internet, researching all the different gods and mythologies.
It's just basically kiss me to give me knowledge anime.
That's so fucking stupid. It's so fucking stupid. It makes no goddamn sense.
Yeah, and I get that you want to be normal, but
you're not.
But you're not one, you're not normal anymore, and two, he has absolutely no excuse after Medusa makes her way to Japan and almost destroys the entire island. Because
Are we talking about when Athena
Athena, sorry.
Yeah.
I meant Athena. But it's the medallion is called the Gorgonalion?
I forget what it was fucking called. But like, by the way, it's Erica's fault. It's Erica's fault that happened too.
Yeah, and it might be Erica's fault, but after the entire debacle, even if I wanted to be normal, I'd be hitting the library. I'd be going,
oh yeah,
okay, I can't be normal, so I need to get all of this information before something like this happens again.
It's like, you also have the internet. You just like use it. You don't even have you don't even have to leave your fucking house. Just use the computer, use the internet, research this.
I mean, isn't that why a lot of modern or even is trying to edge towards 2000 or the 90s just so that people without a cell phone and answer all the problems?
You kind of tismed out a little bit. I couldn't hear you.
I can't hear you either.
How about now?
Yeah.
Yep, you're coming through great.
Cable. The cable's loose. I'll come up with a solution for that later. But no, it's not. It's not urban fantasy in a particular time. It's urban fantasy where cell phones don't really work for the people that are different, because otherwise they could just Google the problem away.
Well, no,
not quite. But
there is one Champion who can do that. But oh my god, I hate all 7 of them. Oh.
I've only met the how many were in the anime? 3? Was it 3?
I couldn't watch the anime to completion, so I couldn't.
I did twice.
Let's
I did
see.
Twice.
This just.
I clearly don't watch enough anime, but it sounds like there's some media that lends itself better to fanfiction than others.
Yes, Campione is one of them, because you can
do anything.
Really. you can take stuff from Nasu and it would work.
You could like what I thought would be kind of cool for like a little Campione fanfiction is like stopping like Cthulhu or Nyarlathotep, or maybe Hastur has come and he wants to do the old one thing or whatever.
There's one crossover that unfortunately is dead because it hasn't been updated in forever, where Kayaba happens to be the god Morpheus. And
what?
Yes.
That sounds fucking stupid.
Yes, and then there's another one that is kind of active because he kind of does because the author in question does a round table and he writes whatever fic of his wins the poll. But the way he did it is he made Kayaba Mordred and had Kirito kill him. Instead, and there's no Godo at all.
No.
So thank God for that.
Oh, thank God.
Yes.
Is Erica?
Unfortunately,
Oh, Erica's still
Kirithel
there.
Yes, Kirithel is going to get Todo's harem. Even worse. Even worse. He's going to be putting Quinella in the harem.
Who the fuck is Quinella?
She is the main bad guy of the first part of the Elicization.
We seem to have gone far afield.
No, we're not. This is still fanfic.
Yeah, we're still talking about fan fiction.
Yeah. So.
Wow, that's dang. There's a lot of.
Yeah.
Why would you ever? Why would you want that harem? You would look at you would look at that assortment of bints and you would say, "Get the go." You're not even worthy of getting me my sandwich.
The only two that I can stand are what's her name? Yuri and Liliana.
Liliana's a plank and Yuri is a doormat.
Yeah, but the cousin? Yeah, no, I really don't. It's gross. They're siblings. They're not cousins. They're siblings. But yeah, Liliana and Yuri are the only two that I can stand. And, you know, it's sad when favorite waifu means only characters I can stand. And I kind of identify with Liliana because she's a writer. She writes. It's...
Oh God, she does write. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I think she's a romance writer.
Oh God, I bet it's. Oh God, I bet it's shit.
So, please explain. Basically, they're talking about Sword Art Online fan fiction.
And crossovers in general.
Yeah. Actually, I read this Guyver Kill la Kill crossover that was actually not that bad. I'm like, oh wow, that's actually really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I think they kind of downplayed how powerful the Guyver suit is in it. I mean, not saying I'm like a huge mega super fan or anything.
But yeah, it's like, yeah, and if I were to use any of his harem, it would probably be Liliana and Yuri, but I would not put Liliana in any harems. I'd be giving her her own guy.
I would, well, actually, I would take Erica, and I would put her in a Clockwork Orange style chair, and I would condition her into being a housewife.
Not a bitch, then?
No, like a 1950s style housewife. I don't care how that sounds because it's like you are such a piece of shit. This is what you deserve.
Yes.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, it looks okay. It's picking me up fine now.
Yeah.
The port on my microphone, I think, is dying. Even after I replaced the cable a few weeks ago.
You might need to get that fixed.
Yeah. Or just replace it.
In any case, the thing I've been spending the last 10 minutes testing my cable to try was to ask a question of what aspects do you think of an anime work lends itself to making it easier to write fanfic in it?
Oh, just like with any story, really, regardless of medium, it just depends on the world and how much the world is dependent on the main characters.
Yeah. For stories that don't depend on the main characters, like Sword Art Online and Campione, you can do pretty much anything with them. As I said earlier, you have 10,000 characters, most of which are not named. So you can go ahead and make an OC and it'll work.
I mean, you could do the same thing with My Hero Academia as well. I mean, I know the story is very much fixated on Deku, but it's not. But you have this also huge, expansive world that you could also diverge off to and have story about some other characters.
I don't know much about My Hero Academia, but it sounds like someone could show up and just write a character with just some knack they came up with one day and write that at some other school nearby or something. You know what I mean? Like adjacent to the
one of the lesser hero schools which have been established.
Or you could do something with Naruto, maybe.
Yeah, so you could do something that isn't complete total hot garbage.
Yeah. Harry Potter, I don't think you'd be able to really get away with. I mean, you can do a whole lot of it, but at the same time, you would have to kind of focus on, if not Harry himself, then his years at Hogwarts.
Or you just have to completely rewrite the whole story.
Yeah.
Just like scrap Harry, scrap Voldemort, scrap Dumbledore.
Scrap the goblins, because there's kind of a little bit of some phobias and anti-Semitism in Harry Potter that can just go with a fanfiction rewrite.
Yeah.
Rewrite a lot of Harry Potter and make a better... But at that point, it's just looking like its own world, and then just file off the whole serial numbers, and you have like your own story you could publish at that point.
Yeah. I mean, that's how 50 Shades of Grey got published. Ugh.
Yeah, it was a Twilight fan fiction that she wrote on her BlackBerry.
Yeah.
Remember Blackberries?
Like, I do. I never had one, but I remember those.
With where I am in critique, I feel like I am very afraid with where I am on the Dunning-Kruger curve with my writing. But like one day, I could write better than that one day.
HP is a very soft magic system with vague ideas, large plot events / ideas that are easily manipulated.
Yeah, I'm a stickler for like logical consistency and universal rules.
Yeah, and
huge stickler for it.
Well, yeah, and vague magic systems are vague. A soft magic system can work, but I prefer hard magic systems where you know what you can do and you know what you can't do.
Exactly.
So it's just...
Yeah, my Final Fantasy VII fanfic, the magic system is, for the most part, most of like what anyone can do is item based. You have the MacGuffin, yes, then you can do one of 1 to 4 abilities with that MacGuffin. I've just been interpreting it a bit with like being able to do things they don't let you do in the game because it's limited by the programming of the video game. But like, yeah, why not throw an ice bolt at a car to try to cause it to crash? Sure. If you summon a big ball of ice, you can cause an accident. That works.
Yeah. And, well, there are some worlds that are just so expansive and so interesting that you don't need to focus on the characters that they happen to focus on.
Unless it's Lord of the Rings, because I mean that world is massive, expansive, well detailed.
Yeah.
But
you kind of can't do it with Lord of the Rings. I mean, Lord of the Rings is written so well that you just can't add anything.
No, you can't, because it's like Tolkien just says, "All right, come at me." He just drops the mic and just pimp walks away.
I think I had something that never made it to paper that was just, it ended up being an elf character just so that they could live long enough to be witness to the many, many expansive events that happen in that series, as well as learn how to use the magic system. But I never got into it in any depth other than the setup.
Yeah. And let's see. For me, For me, yeah. It's just easier it's easier on yourself as a writer if you know exactly what your magic can do and not just vaguely outline it.
Yeah.
Let's see what. There are a bunch of characters in Lord of the Rings that gave very little biographical details, but that's not what we're talking about.
The entire plot of the Lord of the Rings is centered around just this one conflict.
Yeah.
Once it is over with,
there's nothing else to do.
It's over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Oh yeah, Pokemon works immensely well.
Yeah, Pokemon you can do almost anything with.
Yeah.
I still have Team Rocket as the main protagonist, but I was telling a story with one of the people that got tangled up in an experiment with Mewtwo. But I mean, there's still some recurring characters there, but I found that the world was big enough that I could just throw some original characters in it and let loose.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah, you can make your own trainer and you can go through your own journey and you can use the games that you played or not.
Master of the Deck,
No, you go ahead.
Master of the Deck, I don't know if you're coming in with the deep knowledge or if half those words are made up. And I thought I was a fan.
No, that's actually very deep knowledge. Yeah, all of those things exist.
I believe that.
Yeah.
You were saying Kaiju?
I've seen some. It's fan fiction. Fan fiction doesn't have. You still have to adhere. You either have to adhere to the rules of what you're having the story take place in, or you can tweak or even make fix or tweak.
Yeah,
the rules that have been established.
The only the only hard and fast rule that you have to adhere to when writing fan fiction is you have to keep the rules of the world you're writing for in mind, even if you're going to absolutely break them over your knee. You need to know what the rules are before you write there, or else that's bad fanfic.
Yeah.
With my Ruby fanfic that I'm working on, Silver Eyes are going to work 100% differently because how they work in the show right now is fucking retarded.
Yeah, but in order to do that, you still need to know how Silver Eyes actually work.
Yes, I do know. Yep. Now back to the Pokemon thing. I've seen some fanfics that actually detail how harsh of a world that would be, and living in if we kind of ground it, you have 18-foot giant water dragons that have been known for thousands of years to destroy entire cities. In Gyarados' Pokedex entries throughout all the generations, it's said that it destroys cities and it will not stop until the city is destroyed. There's Palossand, who lives on the bodies of its victims. Then there's Drifloon, who abducts people who grab onto its little dangling arm
and
things.
Then there's Kadabra, who went to sleep one day a little boy and became a Pokemon. That Pokemon is a terrifying world to live in.
Oh, and Machamp, you know Machamp, right? We all see Machamp having a legitimate love to help people. They like being around people. Those motherfuckers can throw 1,000 megaton punches in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
They can push mountains with a single arm.
The only grounding I remember doing was making Team Rocket look more like a rated M mafia company kind of deal. I don't remember Oh no, because that was 10 or 15 years ago. So Drifloon did not exist, so I couldn't ground it in some of the most horrific Pokemon that exist.
Oh, a Phantump? Phantump are the spirit of dead children that died in the forest.
Ugh.
Not even kidding. Oh, and when somebody saw what was under Mimikyu's cloak, they died. They were so frightened they died.
That's how terrifying Pokemon are. And then when there's not those, there's Charizard. And Charizard may look cool, but Charizard is terrifying.
Oh yeah, his fire came out rocks.
Yeah.
And he's also like he's like what 5'6", 5'8". He's not very tall. He's short. He's a short.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that's not even going into the legendaries, because the legendaries are terrifying too.
Oh yeah, like Arceus is just God.
Yeah, and
not even hyperbole. Like he is God. He existed before the universe was created. He shaped the universe with 1,000 hands. You could even do. Actually, you know what? If you're gonna make a grounded Pokemon fanfic, you could even which they hinted.
Wow, Charizard is
5'2". Oh my god. That is
wow.
He's the size of your average woman.
They did establish somewhere in the anime that the longer you have them out of the Pokeball, the more in size they might grow, possibly depending on environmental conditions, training in the species, which is one of the only things I remember from the anime, because I remember that episode way back in, oh my god, season 2 or something. And I'm like, if I ever write a fanfic, I'm going to do that, where they'll just never be in the Pokeball and they'll be taller than the average height in the Pokedex.
I'm wondering
Ash's
why...
Noctowl is a midget, by the way. Noctowl is supposed to be 5 feet tall. His only comes up to his freaking knee, or his hip, or whatever.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah.
And Pikachu, if they're supposed to grow when they're not in the Pokeball, how is Pikachu able to still cling to his stand on his shoulder and ride around on his head?
I did qualify with that. Depends on the species.
Well, yeah.
But I get your point.
And, Charizard can grow bigger. We've seen that in the Charific Valley episodes.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the Orange Archipelago or whatever that region was called, but someone's Gyarados was just really big.
Massive,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, then there was that episode with that huge tentacruel that was destroying buildings, but they had to...
I remember that. That was terrifying.
The Kaijugod.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they had to not air it because of 9/11. Those pesky Muslims ruining everything.
What? No, that's a really, really old episode.
In the U.S.
Yeah.
That's why they couldn't air it, I think.
Maybe that's why I saw it, because I'm not in the U.S.
And then, let's see. What other one? Oh, there's all of the starters are terrifying too. Ugh. Well, maybe not. Yeah, even Blastoise is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like in contrast to that, I'm finding like the main conflict in Final Fantasy VII Remake to be really limiting, but I still have found enough justification digging into the lore to write whatever I want up to. Well, not whatever I want, but something, my own story up to the beginning of the events of that game, and then just try to unwrap the giant freaking mysteries that the devs have created around that in order to interpret that in a fanfic. As opposed to Pokemon, where there's like multiple continents, 7,000 different species of Pokemon, and like
there's only ones. No, it's about 900.
I know that.
900 at the moment. Well,
I was actually going to say 790. That shows how much I've gotten rusty on it over the years. But yeah, there's like several hundred species where you could just have one trainer and one Pokemon and just tell a story, or even no Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Have someone
Like
be terrified of Pokemon and tell a story.
If I were to, I would certainly ground it a lot more, and I would actually have an entire worldwide religion built around Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there are, let's see, there are fanfic where they do that with Mew and make Mew a pseudo deity. But Mew's the cutest thing. And the way it's characterized in the movies is it just wants to play. And it has.
I always assumed the dex entries to be miss. No, they're not miss. The dex entries is like what a field scientist would go and observe what animals do. The dex entries are supposed to be the official lore of the series. That's what. So Machamp in lore can move mountains with a single arm.
Yes.
Now some of it seems like the whole Kadabra thing and the Fire Red entry. That is really stupid. I don't.
Which one?
And you also the one where the boy magically woke up as a Kadabra.
Oh yeah, that one. But that has been there since Pokemon Red and Blue.
I thought that was Fire Red.
Nope, it's Red and Blue. That's the original.
Ah, okay. Ow. But yeah, like the Pokedex entries are supposed to be like this is what this Pokemon is, this is how tall it is, this is how heavy it is. They're supposed to be like official entries.
Yeah, and here's a blurb of what it does and what it
Now there is some of the language of it is said to or it is thought to. Now that you could certainly say, oh, okay, so there may be some wiggle room, but sometimes it says no. This Pokemon can definitely do X.
Yes.
Retelling the Bible, but it's Pokemon. No, it's not retelling the Bible.
No.
These are actual like observations people have made in the universe.
Yeah.
For the most part.
And I don't care how pretty some of these Pokemon are. The legendary birds, all of them, even Ho and Lugia, are.
Well, Ho and Lugia aren't legendary birds, technically. They aren't a legendary bird trio. I mean, Lugia's not even a bird.
Who?
I don't know what Lugia is. Lugia.
Oh, no. Lugia is classified as a flying type. It's classified as a flying type.
He's flying psychic.
Yeah, he's flying psychic, which is stupid because he lives in the water.
Yep.
Some of the type matchups don't really make sense. I'm too rusty, but there was an example. Oh no, it was a gym leader where I thought this badge should be for that gym leader, but no, it's minor. It doesn't matter.
Let's see. I think there was a time where Ash was carrying a Cosmoem.
A Cosmem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
The show. I always separate the show and the games because there's a lot of inconsistencies with them.
Yeah,
but I believe
it's supposed to weigh a ton.
Yeah, it's supposed to have. It's supposed to be immensely dense. Like it's supposed to be like a black hole or something.
Well, not black hole.
It's supposed to be something. Yeah. It's supposed to be something like that.
Bigger on the inside and also weigh a ton.
Yeah. But it's like you see Ash pick these Pokemon up when they're supposed to be immensely heavy, and it's like, where is the definition in his arms?
Cosmog also kind of looks like it kind of hovers, so it's as heavy as it wants to be at the time.
Yeah.
This is true.
And then, let's see. What's the other one? Oh, right. Lavatar.
Well,
Larvitar?
Yeah, Larvitar is supposed to be heavy.
Well, I wish we could keep going, but I actually have appointments.
No, we're sorry.
No, you're fine. This actually just randomly came up. This Smudcast is going to be on in 10 minutes.
Oh,
Smudcast. I mean, I have to throw all my money at them like I always do.
Well, I have to say thank you to all of my guests. I have to say thank you to all of my guests. This has been fun, and it kind of has been appropriate that it was rambly.
To be perfectly in character and have them be doing something that they normally never do, then you're amazing, and you should write professionally.
Yes. Like if you can get Guts to sing show tunes
and make it perfectly in character for him to actually do so.
Yes.
No, I was just saying, ha. Yes.
Yeah.
I get it.
Well, then, done. I will see you on the Smudcast and throw all my money at you.
I don't get a cent of it. It all goes to Smudboy.
I consider myself the official producer of the Smudcast. I'm the James Moore.
I thought that was Punished Berserker.
No, it's me, Jake the Surgeon. I am the one.
Oh.
Oh.
You're Jake the Surgeon?
Yes.
Oh,
I am.
wow.
Yes.
Dang. Welcome aboard. Glad that you could come over.
Yay!
Alrighty, cool. Well, I have to thank my guest, Kaijugod, aka Jake the Surgeon, Neph Champion, and Abigail, Jainarai, and Carl Saylor for coming on. I very much appreciated your time. Thank you all, and I will see you later, and hopefully you'll join us on Smudcast.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
please,
definitely.
everybody subscribe to the channel. I really would like to get to that 1K subs, and I believe that
we have
progressing
14 watching.
Look.
No, we have 21 watching.
Oh, wow!
Nice.
Wow.
Dude, it took me 8 years to get to 1K subs. I'm sure you can do it much better than me.
Much faster. You're almost at 100.
Yeah. Poaching from Smudboy is a very efficient platform, or at least like Smud and the rest sharing all of theirs. Since Shiny right now is at 300, Glib is at 700. So.
Nice.
Alrighty.
All right.
Well, alrighty. I will see all of you later, and if you want to check out anything from these wonderful, wonderful writers, we will I have all of them in the description below. Please check them out. I highly recommend them. Support them however you can. And I will see you all later. Bye.
Okie dokie.
Bye, guys.